Next, we will talk about the sorting of the solid waste. So that is the separating the components of the solid waste. These solid waste can whatever the solid components are there, that can be separated by the first one is the magnetic separation, that you can see that first one is the magnetic separation, another is the air separation, and third one is the hand sorting. So in the case of the magnetic separation, uh, in the case of the magnetic separation, the in this method, the whatever the recycled material or the whatever the solid waste are there, the it is often separated component from the isolating metals, purify ores, overhead magnets, the magnetic pulley and the magnetic drums are the method which is being used for the recycling industries. So in this the magnet separations are used for the removal of the ores. Okay, so that can be done in the case of the separation of the metals. In this, the most common method, which is the recovering of the ferrous scraps. So that is what the by shredding the solid waste, by using the magnets, the you can recover the scraps. These ferrous materials are used to recover either by the shredding or before the air classifying, uh, or after the shredding, the air classification. In the some of the larger installation, overhead magnet systems have been used. In this, the whatever the ferrous materials, in this you can see this. Sorry, this is the shredded materials. Okay, one second. This is the shredded materials. Okay. uh, Thus, the whatever the some of the large installation or magnetic systems have been used in this recovery of the ferrous materials before the shredding. When the waste masses are being fired in the municipal incinerators has been used to reduce its volume. Then the magnetic separators are being used to remove the ferrous materials from the incinerated residues. Whatever in the magnetic recovery systems have been used in the landfilling, in the disposal sites. Over the years, the various types of the equipments have been used for the magnetic separations for the ferrous materials. Most common types of the are the suspended magnets, the magnets pulls, and the pulley and the suspended magnetic drums. So that's for the magnetic separation. Next, for the air separation, the air classification has been used for the number of the years in the industry's operator for the separation of the various components from the dry solid waste. In this, air separation is a primary which is been used to separate the lighter materials, that is usually an organic matter, from the heavier ones, that is the usually inorganics. The lighter materials may be included plastic, papers, organic matters, like that. Okay, so the separation, usually separation from the lighter to heavier, and smaller to bigger, organic to inorganic. In this, the classification usually is used for the number of years in the industrial operators for the separation of various components from a drier mixture also. In this solid waste, this classification is used to for the separating the organic materials called the lighter fractions, or heavier inorganic materials, which is heavier fraction. Practically speaking, this involves the separation of the paper products, plastic materials, and light and other light organic materials from the whatever the shredded waste to solid waste. Okay. Next is the hand sorting. So in this hand sorting, in this whatever the separation we used to do, that you can use the picking, sortings, screening, magnetic separation, air classification, optical separation, eddy current method, and the flotation. These are the type of the separations which you can do it, but we are mainly concentrating on the magnetic separation, air separation, and hand sorting. Okay, now we discussed about only the magnetic separation and the air separation. Next is the hand separating. In this hands, this is the air separations which see on the one side left corner, the whatever solid waste which has been pushed away, where the lighter materials which will be blown away, and heavy fractions which is falls away from the towards the down, where heavy fraction which is showing in the towards the arrow. Okay, so this is about the air separation. So if you see the hand sorting, that is nothing but removing the solid waste by manually. In this manual separation of the solid waste, the components can be accomplished at the source, where the solid waste which has been generated at the time of the transfer, at the point of the transfer station, at the centralized processing, the stations, or at the disposal site. The number and the type of the component sorted depends upon the locations and reusal market. The typical component including the newspaper, glass, aluminium from the residents, residual sources like cardboard, high quality paper, metals, and woods from the commercial industries sources, the metals, wood, and bulky items of the values from the transport station to the disposal sites. So this which you can be done by the hand sortings. So that's about the various for components of the separating the techniques, separate technique which is used for the separating the solid waste